Years ago, far beyond the city, hidden among dense woods and shrouded in perpetual mist, stood the Hollow Manor. An old mansion abandoned for decades. It was said to be cursed. Locals whispered that anyone who dared enter after dusk never returned the same, if they returned at all. Tales of shadows moving on their own, of whispers echoing through empty halls, had been passed down for generations. The house had been left untouched, its windows boarded, its doors chained. Yet a strange aura of life or something else lingered in every corner. Many dismissed it as superstition, but some knew better. Some had seen the shadows, had heard the whispers, had felt the cold breath of something that should not exist. Ethan, a young paranormal researcher with an insatiable curiosity, was drawn to the legend of Hollow Manor. Armed with cameras, audio recorders, and sensors designed to detect unusual electromagnetic activity, he set out one cold autumn night. The air was thick, and a fog rolled across the ground as if it were alive, swirling around his feet as he approached the looming structure. The first thing he noticed was the silence. Not the absence of sound, but a pressure, a stifling weight that made the hairs on his arms stand on end. No wind stirred the trees. No creatures called out, yet the air thrummed with anticipation. Ethan pushed the heavy doors open. They groaned loudly, echoing through the vast empty halls. Dust rose in pale clouds, disturbed by his movement. The floorboards creaked beneath his weight, each step announcing his intrusion. At first, everything seemed normal: cobwebs, cracked walls, the decay of time, but then he noticed the walls. Faint, dark streaks ran along them, not from water damage, but something older, something intentional. Shapes, almost like faces, emerged from the shadows. He shook his head, telling himself it was his imagination, yet a chill ran down his spine. He set up his cameras in the main hall, testing the sensors. As he calibrated them, a faint whisper echoed through the space. It was subtle, almost imperceptible at first, like wind slipping through the cracks. Then he heard it clearly, a voice hissing his name, almost coming from the walls themselves. Ethan. It was not human, or at least not entirely. The sound seemed to ripple the air, brushing against his ears, crawling along his skin. He froze, his breath caught in his throat. Following the whisper, Ethan moved toward the grand staircase. The steps groaned under his weight, yet he felt lighter, as if the house itself wanted him to ascend. On the landing, a large mirror hung, its frame ornate with carvings that seemed to twist subtly when he looked away. He approached it cautiously, his reflection staring back at him, but something was off. The eyes in the mirror glowed faintly red, and a dark shape seemed to linger just behind him. When he turned around, nothing was there. A shiver ran through him. He tried to leave, but the doors had slammed shut with a force that shook the walls. Panic surged, but curiosity held him rooted. The whispers grew louder, more insisting. They spoke in a language he could not understand, yet the intent was clear. They were aware of him, they were watching, they were claiming. Shadows shifted around him, elongated and warped as though the house itself had taken a breath and moved. Ethan's camera captured everything, but the footage looked distorted. Black tendrils crawling across the screen. The whispers became voices, layering on top of each other, a chorus of despair. You shouldn't have come. You shouldn't have come. He belongs to us now. Each repetition drew closer, pressing into his mind, filling him with dread. He could feel something brushing against his arms, cold and solid, yet impossible to touch. The air grew heavier, almost liquid, and with each step, it became harder to move. He ran, but the hallways twisted unnaturally. Rooms led to other rooms that shouldn't exist. Doors opened to walls. Staircases spiraled endlessly. Every corner he turned, the shadows followed, whispering, circling, pressing in. His heart pounded, echoing in his ears, blending with the voices. Suddenly, he found himself back in the main hall, facing the mirror again. The shadow in the reflection stepped forward, reaching for him with long, skeletal fingers. Its eyes glowed, red and unblinking, full of hunger and patience. Ethan screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the whispers. He stumbled backward, falling to the floor. The shadow loomed over him, and the whispers coalesced into a single chilling sentence. You belong to us now. Darkness, enveloped him completely. For a moment, he felt as if he were being pulled into the mirror itself, the cold pressing into his bones, the whispers consuming his mind. Then, silence. The next morning, locals found Ethan's equipment outside the manor. His cameras lay scattered on the ground, screens cracked, but no footage could be recovered. Only one audio recorder remained intact. When played, the faintest whisper could be heard, repeating endlessly, "He belongs to us now." Hollow Manor stood silent, its windows dark, doors chained. Yet anyone who dared approach after dusk swore they could hear the whispers calling their name, beckoning them inside. Those who ignored the legend felt safe, but those who listened closely always wondered if they might be the next voice to join the chorus of Hollow Manor.